Hey, welcome to this special edition episode of
Off
the Pad.
Off the pad. You were a little bit too excited there, sir.
I gotta be excited. You gotta keep them ready. Gotta keep them laughing. Well, they ain't laughing yet. Well, you laughing.
I'm laughing. I'm always laughing.
They don't even know why you laughing.
They don't have to know, but they'll find out.
If y'all didn't know, my name is not Corey Marshall.
It never will be.
But it actually is Jaye Toller. I'm Jaye Toller.
And this is Corey Marshall.
Don't worry about that. I'm Jaye Toller. Thank you guys for listening to me. To Off the Pad. I appreciate it. Do you not appreciate it, Corey? He's not saying nothing. See, and that's why nobody wants to be Corey Marshall.
I'm just so excited that I can't talk right now because we got a special guest. So let's just introduce her.
We do. We do have a very special guest in the building. You know what? I don't know if anybody caught that pronoun. He used the pronoun her. We haven't had a her.
I had to think about what a pronoun
she.
was. I know my verbs and stuff like that. When you get to like subject, verb, agreement, and pronouns, I have no idea what it's on.
Subject, verb, agreement, and pronouns have nothing to do with each other.
So that's what I'm saying. I told you I had to think about what it was. We have
a very special her, she, female person in the building. Thank you so much for being the first female person in the building. And you can hear her whisper because she was waiting for us to introduce her.
Y'all know how it's killing her.
You know how females are always late. Like this is what you get. That's funny to me.
Now I don't even know what to say now because I feel kind of awkward. I'm gonna have the honors of introduce our special guest, ladies and gentlemen. We have with us sitting with us. All right, first of all,
what?
You know I can't talk proper English anyway.
You have us with us.
So the listeners already know that, but today we got sitting in the chair with us, Erin Jackson.
Welcome to the studio, Mr. Erin Jackson.
Hi guys, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being
goodness. Oh my goodness.
It's like a different podcast. It's a whole different energy. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
it was just
even
like
want
dudes.
to do what Off the Pad normally does.
I would need some flowers in here, or something.
Right, because I'm that kind of girl.
And some candles.
No one's ever given me flowers in my life.
Stop it.
What do you mean no one's ever?
No, a guy has never given me flowers in my life.
So
I think my mom gave me flowers when I turned 21. She gave me 21 roses. But I've never gotten flowers.
Were they red roses?
No, they were all kinds of different colors.
Okay, no, that's good. Because if they were red roses from your mom, I'd be like, wait a minute.
But it's not. It could be a special engagement.
Yeah,
don't say engagement to a woman who's never received flowers from a dude.
But it's from a mother. That's like totally different. It's just.
Oh my god.
Well, anyway, for the podcast, you know who the bad guy is.
Know me.
You know who the bad guy is for the podcast. That's his MO.
He's already called me late.
And single.
Lonely.
And anticipating.
Met you 3 minutes ago.
It's the double L. That's all it is. It's late and lonely. I'm sorry.
And leaving. Goodbye.
I love the alliteration. I don't know what that means.
Corey, alliteration is when...
I don't know. I know I hear that in court. Right?
You hear litigation.
Oh.
Like litigation is a court term.
Mine was closed. Well, I know I need to wear a suit when I use that word.
Right.
Whatever.
All right, so how are we going to do this thing?
Well, hold up. First, before we get started the podcast, let's give our dates about where they can find us. You got a show coming up?
You know what? Yeah, let's do that. Y'all listen to the whole podcast. Y'all going to enjoy yourselves. Enjoy. What did I say? I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
I had a couple drinks. Y'all going to enjoy yourselves, and then come find us where we are. I'll tell you right now where we are. Well,
they're going to guess that it's going to come every comedy club?
You know what? Yeah, pick and choose. April 29th. Headliner Richard Funny Bone. I encourage you guys to be there. It's going to be a show that you will not want to miss, I promise. The lineup is dope. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and get a lineup. It's going to be comedian Bam White, Jason Klingman, Kenny Wingle, April Lee Dowdy, and my man Corey Marshall. All on the show. And then I'll be there with some sweet stuff.
Can't wait for that date. On April the 16th through the 19th, I'll be in Brea. Is it Brea or Brea? Brea, California, at the Improv there with comedian Rodman on the That Good Funny Tour. So hit me up if you were in the area or if you know somebody that lives in Brea, California. We'll work something out. Appreciate it. And Erin, what you got?
Oh, what are we talking about? Just in the next week?
Or whatever. Dates coming up in the near future.
Oh, man.
In April. Or
so I'll be in April, most of April. I'll be all the time. You can find me in New York City in a bunch of different clubs. I have a website, erinjackson.net, so you can just find it there. I'll be in Cincinnati at Go Bananas coming up. I will be in Portland, Oregon, but that's not until May as well.
So good.
At Harvey's Comedy Club. So just, check me out. Find me
All
online.
your dates are on your website?
Yeah.
ErinJackson.net.
That's how you know you got a lot of dates. Because you just go to the website.
ERIN.
Just go to the website. I can't remember all those dates.
Jackson.
Yeah.
ErinJackson.net.
Yes.
May I ask why not.com? What happened? Somebody else got an Erin Jackson?
Maybe I just no.
She was late.
Right.
She was late.
She was late on buying her domain.
No, I tried to buy that domain 10, 12 years ago,
For
and it
Erin
wasn't
Jackson?
available.
Erin Jackson was not available.
Erin Jackson is a very popular. I mean, it's not very popular, but there are lots of people. But nobody's on it.
Spell
Somebody
that.
parked on it, and it
That's
wasn't.
dirty. That's dirty.
Yeah, it's never. It still doesn't have anybody on it. And I tried to get it in 2003, and I couldn't get it. So
That's ridiculous. If you're listening to the podcast and you are holding ErinJackson.com, we need you to release that. Just release it. Just let it go.
give it us free.
Let it go.
2 movie references.
Another
We got
L word.
Let It Go and the Give Us Free. We should have a Frozen on Amistad.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what is?
Frozen on Amistad. What do you
Frozen, is it Let It Go? Let It Go? The song from
I didn't even see
the
that
movie Frozen. And
Never seen it.
Amistad with the black people on the ship. The ship name was Amistad. The name of the ship was Amistad. The black dude, give us free when he was in the court.
Yeah. Let's not do that. But what we are going to do, we're going to get into this podcast. Thank y'all for listening. It's Off the Pad. Here we go. Boom.
Boom.
Greetings again. Welcome to Season 2 of Off the Pad Podcast. The podcast serving you non-stop funny without interruption. Now sit back, relax, clock out, and get ready for the best moments of your day.
Yo, this Chameleon Rod, man, and you rolling, you listening, you in the zone with my man, Jaye Tola and Corey Marsha. Off the Pad, baddest podcast on this side of the universe. You heard it from me, right, man? I'm out.
Now without further ado, I present to you 2 of the funniest, flyest, freshest soul brothers around. Jaye Tola and Corey Marshall, along with our special guest, Erin Jackson. What would you say has been the most significant opportunity or moment in your comedy career?
Man, it's interesting because significant doesn't always mean the thing that really propelled you to the next level or advanced your career. But like a significant thing for me was getting the call and doing the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Okay.
I remember I still had my day job and I was in a staff meeting and I got a phone call and I had my BlackBerry in the meeting.
That was a while ago.
Wow.
I hope.
BlackBerry. Yeah, this is 2008. And so I had my phone in the meeting and I saw the number come through and I lived in D.C. and I saw the number come through, but it was a 310. And so I'm used to 301 numbers, but I saw a 310. I'm like, that's California.
That's Cali.
What is that? Right? So I stepped out of the room, out of my marketing staff meeting, and it was a producer from the Ellen show, and they were like, Ellen saw you on Last Comic Standing. She's a fan. She saw you did in that band. She wants you to come do the show. And I was like, who is this
That's
pranking
crazy.
me? Who is pranking me during the day at my job?
Word.
But when that happened, it's one of those things where, I mean, I was hustling. Like I had a full-time job, but I would be going to New York to do a show. I would get a show and I would go to New York and I would do the show and I would take the 3 a.m. Greyhound back to DC and go to work at 9 o'clock in the morning. Like I was doing that and that call and that opportunity gave me validation to like keep going. You know, like somebody that you really respect has seen what you do and
it ain't like you talked to none of them before, right? You didn't
no.
know the producers. It ain't
I
like
didn't.
you said
And
them.
so it
They
was just one of
saw
those things
you.
where like you're like, should I be doing this? Will I ever? Because I wasn't even the mindset like I was going to quit my job. I was just like I had done Comedy Central, Ellen, and Last Comic Standing in 1 year, in one summer. And I still was like going to work every day. Like what?
That's
I
ridiculous.
don't have
Yeah.
enough
Which is, like,
work
amazing.
to
The
because
famous-
people think they see you on TV. They think that means that you have a career, and
Yeah.
it doesn't. It just means that you have 5 to 10 minutes of material, and that's not enough to go on the road and be a full-time comedian. So
Message.
Yeah, it just isn't. It's just a lot harder, right? I mean, that's how much good material you have. So I remember doing the show, and she asked, so you still have a day job? And I was like, at that time, I had more than 10 minutes of material, but I'm just saying in general, people think that you could be farther along because you're on television. And I remember her asking me, she's like, you still have a day job? What is it? And we talked about that on the show. But that was in September, and by February, I had quit my job. I just kind of was like, you know what?
It's that time.
It's time. So I don't, but I mean, I did it, I think, in a smart way. So I didn't just bounce with no prospects. But
how was it leaving your job? You know what I'm saying? Was it when I was like, I'm out, I'm on TV, peace?
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that at all. Like I have always been a planner. Like I'm a spreadsheet person, like a pivot table spreadsheet.
Okay.
Details.
I'm detailed. I need to know where my money's coming from. I need to know exactly what's going in, coming out, like coming in, going out. So it was very hard for me. So when I do a lot of shows at colleges. That's how I really made my living in comedy at the beginning. So I did
wow.
Yeah, I did colleges have programming conferences. So basically, everybody at a college in a certain region that has a student activities department, they will come and they will see.
Was it NACA?
Right, NACA. So they'll have comedians, bands, motivational speakers, poets. They, you get accepted to the conference. They see you, they buy you and bring you to their school. So I had done one of those, and so I did the national one, and I had some schools booked on my calendar. And I said, okay, so I know I have some money coming in this year if I leave my job. But it was February 2009. Like I kept telling myself, I said, I'm gonna take some money out of my house. I own a home, and I was like, I'm just gonna withdraw some money, refinance my house, pull that money out, live on it for a while, and it was February 2009. Like, there's no money left in my house. Everything was gone. Like, my plan...
We just had to crash in 2008.
Yeah, we had to crash at the end of 2008.
Right.
But I had already had it in my mind, like, I have to leave my job. Like, I can't do this anymore. And then I went to refinance. I put a whole lot of cash in my house as down payment. I went to get it out, and they were like, nah, yo. There's nothing here. Right. And I was like... I still got to quit. So it was very scary. It was not one of those drop the mic,
I got you.
I'm out of here situation. Yeah. No. Right. I've never been comfortable in comedy. I haven't been comfortable yet. I mean, there have been a couple years where I didn't struggle so much, but I wouldn't say I'm comfortable. And that discomfort was very hard for me because I've always planned so that I wouldn't be uncomfortable.
Hearing stuff like that is dope to me just because from other people looking at you, like, man, I expect to be comfortable. And then you, regardless of how far you've made it, you still have that spirit to grind and to go harder. So,
well, thank you. No, and I think it's you can't. Number one, it's hard to get comfortable because of just there's no stability. And then I think there are certain times of the year that are tough for every comedian. Like summers are horrible.
And that's
most
odd.
people.
You would think the summers will be like booming with business because colleges and that's the time people are off and people are going to the comedy clubs and things.
Everybody's off. So if you have a TV show, you're off. If you did colleges, you're off, and it's everybody competing for the club work.
I got you.
Because there's no college money to get, there's no TV money to get, so the big names are in the clubs, right? Taking all your little money that you were gonna get, and so. Yeah, so it's hard. So I for me, this is the thing you're not supposed to say, I think, in the entertainment industry. But
we'll bleep it out.
No.
No, go ahead.
It's not offensive, but it's the thing you're not supposed to say, which is, I love comedy and I want it to be my job for as long as I can do it. But I don't need to be a superstar.
Gotcha.
I just need to be comfortable. Like, everybody has to have a job to pay for their life. If this is my job that pays for my life, fine. I just need enough to pay for my life. And, of course, I want big things. I would love to have those things, but I don't need them. I just need to make enough money at my job to pay for my things and be happy.
I follow you.
And so, I'm not going to say that in a meeting with somebody in LA.
I just wanna...
Like, I'm just trying to cover PSC and G bill. Like, I can't. That's certain.
Can you just take care of my car note? I'm good.
Right.
Nothing more.
So, for me, I love it. I've settled in. And so I've learned a lot by being uncomfortable, I think. Like, I've learned that I can do it and everything doesn't have to happen on the 1st.
I got you.
And I can figure it out. And, my life's going to be okay if that's a little later, if that doesn't happen this month or, that's a lesson that I probably wouldn't have learned without comedy. So it's valuable.
Who has been the most supportive in your comedy career?
The most supportive, it's a person that's not a comedian. Well, this still kind of counts. Like the DC Improv was my home club.
Okay.
And I would say that the manager there, Allison Jaffe, supported me in ways where it really counted, meaning pushing me to do things before I thought I was ready.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, that's the planner in me. Like when I had half an hour, I still was like, I could only MC because I need. What if she pushed me to the next level where I wasn't, where I was like, no. There's a formula.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't be there yet. And she pushed me to headline before I thought I could headline and just said, no, I have faith in you. I'm going to give you a show and give it to you in the small room. And just kind of gave me opportunities when people would come through the club,
Mm-hmm.
put me with people.
That's good.
Where, I could build relationships that would benefit me in the future. So they've been really great to me throughout my career. I've gone from taking their very first stand-up workshop. It was a one-day workshop. Mm-hmm. To headlining their room every year. And
That's
so
crazy.
it's
Is the person still there so that they...
Oh yeah, she's
Okay.
still there. Yeah.
You know what? I like that kind of a story, just because I think Corey and I came from the same home club, Richmond, Virginia, Funny Bone in Richmond, and they've done a lot for Corey. They're doing a lot for me, and just a message to just the clubs, man. When you look out for your people, it's different from you doing your thing over at outside clubs. So when your home club is treating you with that kind of I don't know, love and respect, it's just a wonderful thing, and I just would encourage every if you promoter or club owner, if you're hearing this, just treat your people right, and it's love, it's good stuff.
And it's kind of a two-way too, because there's comics that don't know how to act.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
It's just like
you
they
can't
wear
treat
their welcome.
everybody.
But one of the things that I do, I took note of what she said was the club pushed her. She didn't push the club. A lot of comics, they had the mentality, the club owes me the spot. I deserve stage time. I need the headline. But she was like, no, I'm not ready yet. But the club was like, no, you are ready. Like, and that's a key thing too.
Right.
Is
I
this,
agree.
knowing your, well, I wouldn't say knowing your place, but not wearing your welcome, I guess,
Yeah.
Or,
You gotta learn how people
arriving
operate.
early.
You can't nag the club.
Like in comedy, one of the things I'll do every month, and in New York, it's like every week with certain clubs, is you have to send out avails. You have to tell people, what dates you have available,
So hold
that
up.
kind of thing.
So you still sell out avails?
Oh, how else am I going to get work?
All right, just wanted to get that on air.
Yeah.
A lot of people think once you do, no, nobody. I didn't hear back from anybody.
I've hosted the club twice, and I'm not going to contact them. They should contact me, and they should.
So this is a person that has been on television and still sends out avails.
How would you get work if you don't send a... Anyway, that's ridiculous. So every month I send out avails to clubs around the country, clubs I work, clubs I want to work. And you got to learn, when you're in the business, you learn people, like people you work with. Like I like the club in DC. Never sent her avails in 12 years of comedy.
Yeah.
Like she knows who I am. She knows I'm there. She's going to give me a week when she has a week. And I've never sent her avails. Some people don't want you to send it every month. Some people want you to send them quarterly. Some people need them every week.
Yeah.
Because in New York, there's so many clubs. You're sending out avails on a weekly basis.
rotation
It's
is
not
crazy.
like
Yeah.
they're just booking 3
Yeah.
comics a week and they're booking 60 comics a week. So I mean, it's just one of those things where you learn more. But who's not sending avails? You have to send avails.
I agree.
There's no other way to get everybody. Even people who are stars, even if they're not sending avails, their managers are. Like that's the only. Nobody's calling you and saying, "Hey, please, can you come work my room?" I mean, that's very rare. There are
That is
very
true.
few people that is happening for.
And I'm glad you said that.
Are you still willing to perform at open mics?
I don't do as many open mics, but there are a lot of just booked non-club shows. Sure, all the time. Because for me, I just moved to New York last summer, and so. Getting into the clubs was something I really wanted to do, but a lot of the clubs I work, especially for instance, I work at the Comedy Cellar. That's a great club in New York City, but you have to kill when you do that. Like you're always auditioning.
Okay.
It feels so you're not going up there with your brand new bits to work them out. And if I don't have a ton, like I have to go somewhere where it doesn't matter if everything hits, because
I go to Comedy Basement.
right. All right. You gotta go to the show at the pizza shop still, which is a book show that has great comics on it and it gets a crowd. But absolutely. But I do a lot of working out on stage. You know, I think open mics are important, and I think I didn't learn that right away. Like I think because there are people who treat open mics like they're at a club, like the Comedy Shop with the kill all the time. Like,
That's true.
Dude, just go there and do the new material. Like if it works, if it doesn't work, then you still did what you came to do. You found out that it wasn't funny, but don't just go there and try to do your best stuff at an open mic. But that's not what we were talking about. But yes, no, I'm still willing to do open mics all the time. I'm willing to get on a stage where there's a stage.
Are you able to swim?
Nope.
Have you ever
Can you
attempted
swim?
to learn? I can absolutely swim.
Can you swim,
I
Corey?
can swim like a fish.
Oh, yeah, no.
What swims better than a fish? Because I think I can swim better than that.
A guy swimming away from a fish.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never
I
tried
like
to
the
learn?
water. No, I never took a no. My dad didn't even. My dad swims now every day. Now that he's retired, but he didn't learn to swim until he retired. Until he moved down to Virginia and retired. Now he swims like.
Was
a
he
lot
like
every day.
military?
He was military.
So that's probably why.
That's why he
swim.
didn't learn how to swim.
Oh, well, never mind. Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. I kind of got things crossed there. It's just like
Yeah.
there's no excuse for him not knowing how to swim. Then.
No, he didn't know how to swim. He was in the army though, so he didn't know how to swim. Yeah, no, I don't swim. My mother doesn't swim. I like the water. Like I'll go in the ocean, I'll put my head under, I'll float, but I don't know how to swim.
Can you hold your breath without holding your nose?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hold your breath without holding? Okay.
I know
I had to think about that.
I know
Yeah.
some girls
Oh,
that
for
they
sure.
have to hold their nose to go underwater.
Oh,
I'm
no,
like-
no.
I'm like,
Well,
what are you doing?
I had
That's
to hold
like
my,
right now, it's the same thing. If I just
I have to hold my
No,
nose
my
when I'm
nose
in the
down.
shower.
shut up, Corey.
No, I really do because water still runs in my nose.
Well,
you
don't
take it-
don't
do you-
don't look at the shower. What are you doing?
But
Do you
like when I
take a
wash
shower
my face,
on
when
the
I wash my
handstand?
face,
I know. What are you-
no, when I wash my face, like water still runs in my nose, and I start choke like almost every time I take a shower.
But you can swim.
I'm dead serious. Yeah,
That doesn't make any sense.
it makes perfect
Well,
sense.
put your head down. Lower your head.
But
you-
it still runs in my nose.
Do you
It's
stutter
just-
swim?
But
Like,
your nostrils are down here.
I know, but the water like runs in my nose. Like it runs. I guess I have a funny made nose. The water just kind of.
Yo, show me.
I
Pour
think
some
you
water in your
should.
head.
No, we're not gonna take a shower. We're not. Oh, wait a minute. Like, we're gonna take a shower together. It's just. like, see, I told you.
Yes. How'd you learn how to swim? I have a theory. How'd you learn how to swim? You took lessons?
Absolutely not.
How'd you learn?
My older brother could swim, and I always wanted to do what my older brother can do. So when I seen him swimming, I jumped in the water.
How'd you learn how to swim?
I went to camp.
They taught you?
Yeah, I took lessons.
Swimming
And-
camp?
Yeah. Now I went to camp, and then we had like a swimming time.
wow. See, I have a
and so-
theory that most black people learn how to swim because something went down and they chose life. Like that's how most of the people that I know how to swim. That's how they learn. They learn because somebody pushed them in a city pool or they almost drowned because like something silly. Like yeah.
Either that or I was going to die, girl.
I lift my back window down when I went through the car wash. It was scary. No. No, but that's interesting. Wow. Yeah, I don't have a problem with the water though. I don't have that thing
Okay.
that like I don't have
Oh,
that.
you have a hair thing, I'm assuming.
I don't
Your
have
hair looks
I
very
don't
nice,
have
by the way.
I don't have a hair thing at all.
Okay.
No. I will get in the water. I will
wow.
go under
That's
the
what's up.
water.
So
I
you
will
that
go do it
girl.
in the ocean, but I don't know how to swim. Like I don't know that part.
Oh, so your hair not getting wet anyway.
What happened?
Your hair's not gonna get wet anyway.
No, it is gonna get wet.
But you say you don't know how to swim.
No, but I'll go
She just
under
said
and
she'll
do this.
go under the water.
Oh, okay. I got it. But she was
She
like,
just
looked like
can't
she was
swim.
like walking.
No.
Like,
No. I just don't know the breathing part, but I'll go under the water.
Maybe
And
in
do this.
a few seasons from now, we'll add a video to this
yeah,
podcast.
but, yeah, it's kind of hard to do. Like,
yeah, you can't see what I'm
what's
doing.
going
you
on.
can't teach somebody how to swim sitting in a chair. It's just,
What can you tell us about yourself that we can't find on Google?
I used to weightlift kind of competitively.
wow. When did you have time to weightlift? Wait
No,
a
this
minute.
was
You had
when
like
I was
8
young.
jobs
No,
and-
no, no. This is when I was younger. This is in high school.
Okay.
She used to lift up CNN.
She was Atlas.
No, so I can, I could bench 225, back then. I could bench 205 now. I did it recently.
Okay.
I don't even think.
You know what?
I ain't gonna say nothing.
I could
swim.
I could lift my own body weight.
I can swim.
I could press my body weight.
I don't think you can find that on Google.
And you're not 205, Corey.
I'm not 205.
Yeah.
But
You're a good
I
105.
can do. I could do 200. I could do 200.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me? Are you serious? We can go to the gym tomorrow.
Can you do 10? You talking
10
about
pounds?
You talking about just one?
I don't know.
I'm talking about presses. You know what? Let's do that. let's make an off the pad date at the gym.
And we still got to keep other off the pad dates. It's just
we can go to the gym, watch Star Wars 4 and eat
watch
snickerdoodles.
Star Wars 4, eat snickerdoodles, and
while we're having a pedicure.
We got to do that at Planet Fitness. Then that's the only place that's going to allow us to eat snickerdoodles and watch TV while we work out.
What other projects are you currently working on?
I have a talk show that's called Exhale.
Exhale.
It is on a network called Aspire. It's Magic Johnson's network, and it's me and 4 fantastic ladies. Issa Rae, who is blowing up now. You guys got to know who Issa Rae is. Miss Adventures of Awkward Black Girl. She's got a new HBO pilot she's taping now. She's fantastic. Melinda Williams, she's an actor. You guys...
I always had a crush on her.
Yeah, you would know her from like Soul Food, the TV show, and The Wood. She's adorable and great. And Angela Burt Murray is one of my co-hosts. Ange was the editor-in-chief of Essence Magazine for years. And now she runs a entertainment website called Coco Fab. And Renee Seiler is our 4th, last but not least, other co-host. She is... a news anchor, and she used to host the early show on CBS before Gayle King was there and all that stuff, and she's fantastic, and she's kind of our moderator. But it's 5 black ladies talking about issues that are important to black families, black women, black men as well. White folks, you can watch too, though. There's no password. Everybody can tune in. There's no quiz. But it's a fun show. I mean, we get along. We really like each other. Everybody on our show, even our director, producer, everybody's black woman. We all get along, which is probably why people aren't familiar with it, because black women getting along on TV isn't a popular thing.
This is your 3rd season?
This is our 3rd season. Yeah, our 3rd season. Thank you. Premieres May 6th on Aspire. So if you've got Comcast or Time Warner or Cablevision, AT&T, and hopefully, I think by the fall, DirecTV and Fios. Check us out. Check us out. Balance out your love and hip hop chi.
Gotcha. Now, as far as for views, does the show still get viewer credit if they watch it on demand?
It's not on demand.
It's not. So Aspire, you can't watch it later. So you have to watch it when it shows.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So what's the times?
So it comes on Wednesday at 9, but Empire's on hiatus. We come on in the summer. So black people, come on. No excuses. We move from 8 to 9. So, but yeah, it's a once a week talk show. It's not like a daily
it's 8 to
show.
9. So that's good.
It's 9 to 10 now.
Oh.
It moved from 8.
All right, so 9 to 10.
It moved from 8 until beginning now at 9
it's
instead
9
of
to 10.
Yeah.
But you know what? We can still watch the show because Empire, if it was on, you could watch that on demand.
Right. And it's not, though. We run in the summer. We have a short run, so we'll be in and out before that show comes back.
Cool.
What advice can you give to new and upcoming comics?
Man, there's so many different things people taught me, but I think probably the most important things would be, number 1, stage time. Get up. There's no substitute for it. There's no shortcut in that respect. You just got to keep doing it to get funnier. You got to be where you say you're going to be, and you got to do your time when you get there. All your time, not more time than they tell you to do. That's so important. People don't know. It's so important. Stage etiquette. And yeah, I mean, you got to love it if you're going to do this. You can't do it halfway because it'll beat you up. It's not easy, so yeah.
What about going under your time? If you're supposed to do 15 minutes,
don't
and
do
you get
that
up
either.
do
That's
8.
why I said do all your time and don't do
not
more time than that. You're supposed to do 15 minutes. Don't get off at 13. Somebody's waiting. Somebody's doing something, calculating when you're going to get off. Somebody wants to know when you're going to get the light so that they can finish doing what they're doing. And you gotta be dependable. You gotta do what you say you're gonna do. Do everything you say you're gonna do, and not more than they tell you to do. And that's how you get the respect of a booker, a club having you back. That's how other comedians remember you. That girl that ran the light. I don't want to work with her.
That's
All she
so
does
true.
is run the light. You know,
Messed up the
Glad you
show.
said that
yeah,
too. Like,
she messed up the show. We got to drop checks. We got to get people out of here for the next show. She went over her time. I mean, it's just little things. I mean, it just know how to act, act like you got home training, and just work hard. That's it. I mean, those probably aren't profound, but that's advice that you would think people would know that they don't all seem to know.
no, that works, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who listen who are supporters of this podcast and who are up and coming comedians who hear it from a person like me or a person like Corey. Oh, they're not on TV yet. And they don't do this, and they dismiss or disregard. You know, just
I mean,
to hear
those
it from-
are things like do what you say you're going to do. And
Right.
hold up your end of the bargain. Those are like life
It
things.
shouldn't even have
That's
to
not
be
even
just
a comedy
comedian.
thing.
Right.
That's like
Right.
that's like a life thing.
Right, just be accountable. Be responsible. This is what
You
say
say
you're gonna do.
accountable?
Accountable.
Yeah, that's encouraging. You should be accountable. Just
people.
eat people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you see a light, just get off.
I don't know if they look tasty. Just go for it.
We wasn't gonna talk about it, but I just thought about it. There are like a lot of female comics that are just coming up, and they don't really hear from other female comics. They always hear from a male's point of view. So I don't even know what to ask. Like, do you have anything to say or to encourage female comics?
Do you like those questions? I'd imagine you'd heard those you've heard those questions a ton of times. I don't. That also makes you curious. Like, do you care for hearing that question?
Not
it's
really.
female.
I don't care to hear
And
it.
so I mean I'm with you, but it's,
Yeah.
I don't know, like because I'm thinking if I was a female comic, it's just like, oh, they have a female comic, I want to hear something from them.
Right. I mean, if you had a specific question, I mean, because the advice that I give, it's advice.
The
for
same
everybody.
advice? Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
So it's not like if you're a doctor, like, all right, this is what we tell our female doctors.
Right.
Yeah, you got to cut a certain way.
No, I
All
just,
right, so
you
it's the
know,
same information.
It's nice that I'm the first her, but they would have known that once I started speaking. So it's kind of like, and not I don't mean that in a crappy way. I just mean
you good.
that I get that so often. I got introduced recently as she does comedy like a man. Our next, I was like, what does that mean? Oh, I love her. She does comedy like a man. I was like, what does that mean? I think that you meant that was supposed to be a compliment, but I don't even know what that meant.
Well,
so, lady comics, I mean, the advice is all the same. If you have any specific question that you want to ask me that you need to know, then I'm happy to help you if there's, specifics to being a woman or
but
not.
you know
Do you
what?
find it different? Do you find that you're treated differently
I
as
don't
a
know.
woman?
I don't know. I'm not a man. I've never been a
So-
man.
okay, all right, I'm sorry.
No, I just get
I
those
heard this
questions.
question and I hate
Like,
it.
is it harder to be a woman? I don't know. I've only ever been me.
So let's do
Your
this.
comedy is different.
No, I mean,
it's
of course,
refreshing.
there are fewer opportunities for us on shows. These are things that are real. The clubs rarely put more than one woman on a show unless it's a female show. Meaning, like, you're not going to just randomly. It just happened that you had a female headliner and a female,
feature,
unless she brought her, right? So those things, yeah, there are fewer opportunities for us on shows. Oftentimes we have to make our own opportunities, but I mean, in terms of writing your material and performing your material, that's all you. That's individual to who you are, and irrespective of if you're a man or a woman. I think.
Now just hold up. I gotta pick up my face for a second here. Let me just, there you go. Watch your foot.
No,
watch
I'm
your
just,
foot.
and I just wanted to say that though, because so often we're singled out when I don't even think it matters to even point it out.
Right.
You know? And I don't.
No, I feel you.
But I appreciate. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm blazing trails
So
off the path.
So off the path.
I'm glad we asked.
I don't think we ask people who don't have clout or who we don't respect to be on this show. We've seen other females, but there was no one that we asked to be a part of this podcast until we heard you were coming. And when I saw it, and we didn't plan this. Like he had some thoughts in his mind, and I had some thoughts in my mind. And when I saw you coming, I was like, oh man, I would love to see if we can get Erin Jackson. And I hit him up. He was like, dude, I was gonna ask you the same thing. And it was like, oh word, dude. So I hope we can get her.
Well, thank you.
But you know what my fear was? I don't even think it's gonna be in the podcast. My fear was, I'm like, hey, Erin, would you mind doing a podcast? Corey, I haven't heard from you in since what you call
You
it?
don't want to do this. You don't want to do that.
It's gonna be recorded whether we publish it or not.
So
Like,
that was my fear. Just like, you know what? Yeah.
I already did that, and
I
then
know.
we got past that.
Yeah. So I feel that's why I feel better.
If you're able to admit it, what was the worst mistake you've made as a comic?
There's something that I viewed as a mistake for a really long time, but now I don't think it was.
Okay.
It's kind of hard for me to think about what my biggest mistake was. I think my biggest mistakes, and this goes back to what we talked about earlier about not feeling ready to do things and not being comfortable taking big leaps. I've never been a risk taker. So for me, I'm 12 years in, and I just moved to New York City last summer, and I had some challenges that prevented me from doing it earlier in the last couple of years, but in general, I could have made that move sooner. And for me, it was financial, for the most part. I used to view it as, I used to beat myself up. I'm like, why am I still here? Everybody that I started with is in New York or in LA. I'm still here in DC, grinding away, out on the road. But I will say I beat myself up about that for a very long time because people would always be like, why aren't you here? What are you doing? Why are you still down there in DC? And
it's a pretty big city, though, so I'm surprised at that.
Well, but it's not. I mean, there's one comedy club.
I mean, but
There's
it's
not.
the progress that you've made. Well, to me, you know what I'm saying, I'm just 6 years in, but like the progress you've made and to be in DC is like, yo, like that's great.
Which is why people were saying,
Okay.
If you had been here,
Understood.
you could be further along, right? So, I will say though, for me, the benefit has been that I got out on the road and I got funnier and I made connections with other comics that I work with. So if I was somewhere featuring, I kept in touch with whoever the headliner was, and that person was in New York or LA. And by the time I got there, then I had people who could vouch for me to get me into a club. It wasn't like I went there 2 years in and was like, hey, I'm here in New York, and I never got on stage and I couldn't afford to live and all those things, right? So by the time I got there, at least I was able to make a living. But I just feel like I see people and I'm like, and that'll happen in any industry. I mean, of course, or it happen a lot in the entertainment industry. You'll see people that you begin with, you'll see them pass you by, and then you'll pass them again, and then you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where judging myself by what other people thought I should be doing and then by what other people had achieved by the time, not necessarily being jealous of what they had, but going, okay, we've been doing this the same amount of time. I should be moving towards that, right? So I think to me that was the biggest waste of time is just comparing my trajectory to someone else's. Because like you said, there's not just one way to do it.
Right.
There's so many paths, especially now with like podcasting and YouTube and Vimeo, and just people can be famous and it doesn't have anything to do with TV or comedy clubs, right? So I think measuring myself against other people and other people's ideas of what I should have been doing when was the biggest mistake and waste of time.
That's a dope answer.
Yeah, I like that. Cool. Thank you so much for answering those questions, Miss Erin Jackson.
Of course, thank you.
How'd you like the British guy?
He was great. I love the way he asked me questions.
He's just so stoic.
Y'all so silly. All right, so now we get into some topics, man. So what happens is our supporters or our listeners, they suggest topics for us to talk about. So we ask the questions or we ask for the topics the night of the recording. So in traditional off the pad fashion, we haven't seen these topics either. We haven't had no time to research nothing. So if we say something that ain't right, don't be getting at us for these fact checks. Y'all can Google this stuff yourself. You ask a question, we're just talking about it. Word up, word up. Why am I the only one talking? I don't know.
Oh yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, people, look it up yourself. What did you? How are we supposed to?
Speed topics. Homonyms.
Somebody asked a question about homonyms.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Homonyms.
It's just the word
It's
homonym.
a topic.
It's a
Yeah,
topic.
they send
Talk
us
about
topics.
Oh.
Talk about
Okay.
homonyms.
So homonym is when the two words they sound the same, right? But they're spelled differently. I can't remember. Now, which one is which?
And,
See?
yeah,
That's
see,
why we're not
and-
fact checks.
Yeah.
No. Oh,
But-
you don't know the answer.
Yeah.
No, there
Well,
are
I mean-
there are two words that sound the same that are spelled differently.
Right, like
Is that what you
here
just said?
and here. Like here,
Exactly.
I'm here, right here in this room, and then I can hear you
can
in my
hear you.
ear. So those are okay. So we're gonna talk about. Are we just gonna list homophones?
Homonyms.
Sorry.
Homonyms.
So what's a homophone again?
Homophone is like a little flip one of those. I don't know. I don't even know what a homophone is.
A pink
like
flip phone?
on the phone. But I can't remember
A
the
rainbow
the
flip
distinction.
phone. That's a homophone.
Homophone.
Stop it.
No, homophone. They have the same. They have the same meaning. Hold on.
No.
No,
That's
wait
a
a minute.
synonym.
Wait a minute. Yes.
Homophone is also no. I know this, but it's in my mind. I can't get it out. Okay, homonym are words that sound the same. They're spelled differently.
Homophones are spelled the same. They sound differently.
Is that true?
That's not even possible.
Like
Hi-
what?
It is
Spelled the
possible.
same but said differently. What? There is no word that is done like that. Like mom and mom.
I don't know if that's right, but there are
Like
words.
mom and mum.
You can't. No, that doesn't get that wouldn't
Yeah,
fit.
exactly. So there is no word.
There are words that sound that are spelled the same, but you pronounce them differently depending on what like resume and resume.
Oh.
Oh no
That's great.
I don't know.
No, a homophone is a word that's pronounced the same as another word, but differs in meaning and may different spelling. So like flour that you cook with and a flower that you smell.
So it
That you
sounds the
give
same
that I've
but
never
spelled
gotten
different. So
ever
we
in my
have
life.
backwards. All right.
So
Okay.
It's
so
pronounced the same but spelled different.
pronounced the same as spelled. Oh, so yeah. So like, but it could be it could be spelled differently or just pronounced. So like where and where.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a homophone as opposed to read and read.
Which is
Wait, no, that's a homophone.
well, they're
what's the
spelled
first
the
one?
same. Homonym.
Homonym is two words that sound the same but are spelled different. Okay, I got it.
This
I
is
got it.
not my
Well,
topic
they sound like
at
the
all.
same thing.
No. Okay.
Spelled the same.
Spelled the same but sound differently. So like
That's what I.
read and no, that's a homonym. Read and read. I read it. I'm
Okay.
reading it. Right. That's a homonym.
Okay.
But because they don't sound the same, but they're spelled the same. A homophone is a word that sound the same, but they're spelled differently. So
Flower.
Like you said,
flower and flower.
Okay.
Well, still, you still say those different. You know, flower and flower.
What do you mean?
But they're not spelled
What?
the same.
Yeah, you
They
don't say them
sound
the
the same.
same. Well,
Right.
Well, I don't know. I don't say them the same.
I don't know. What are we supposed to say about them? Well, I don't know.
Council and council. COUNCIL. COUNSEL.
But are we supposed to be saying something funny about them, or are we just supposed to be listing them? What are
Well,
we
I
doing
mean,
with
this
homophone?
was very comical listening to y'all trying to get the definition.
Wait. Okay, yeah.
So that was fine. That's enough.
Interracial relationships.
Yes.
I'm for it.
I'm all for it.
I'm for it.
Spread the love.
I'm interracial, extra-racial.
Yeah,
Is
your
it-
middle
I don't
name
even
is
know if that's
Sanchez.
the word. My middle name is Sanchez.
Yeah.
Is
So
it?
that's like
Yeah, I'm all for. I've only dated black guys and like Latin guys,
Okay.
but they were like Latin black guys. So I guess
I haven't
doesn't
dated
really
any
count.
black guys, and I haven't dated any Latin
No
guys.
Latin guys for
No.
you, but I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. I
I like you, Corey. I'm black and my middle name is Latin. We could
You're not my
Right.
type. at
call
all.
me on my
Right, right.
homophone.
that's hilarious. I'm all for interracial dating. Find somebody that loves you.
I agree, man.
Widen the net.
I agree.
Widen the net.
Widen the net.
What does that mean? What does that?
That
Of
means
catching.
stop looking.
Yeah.
Widen the net. Like when you're fishing, you can't just fish right here.
Oh,
you gotta
okay.
widen the net.
Okay.
Like
Gotta
you
be
just want
open to
goldfish,
finding
or you
it.
just want blackfish.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you-
No,
yeah.
I want all the fish.
I want some salmon. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm all about
That's all.
that.
That's all the fish you can name. You
Yeah,
said
yeah, but that's-
a salmon.
I want some salmon.
You got trout, bass,
Yeah, I'm all that.
bass, and bass.
Which one is that?
This-
What is that?
There's a homo fish. The homo fish.
All right,
Those are homophones.
There you go.
homophones spelled the same, sound differently.
It's an educational podcast. As
Oh
well.
no, they're homonyms.
Well,
Oh, jeez.
yeah. After I gave this is a very educational. Oh no, correction.
Well, this is a public school education.
Spell the same sound differently as a homonym. Basin Bass homonym.
That is so confusing. But thank you. Now something else.
You learned pronoun. You learned homonym. You learned homophone.
Yo, this is like it's like school again.
It's awesome.
You're welcome.
Childhood crush.
Well, I don't know if you know, but you'll know when I say it who my childhood crush was. Because if you've ever seen anything about it on social media, I feel like anybody knows who my childhood crush was, and they all joke me for it. But I got to meet him this season on my show.
Do you do a Man Crush Mondays?
No.
Was it Idris Elba?
Okay.
No.
Oh, wait,
my childhood crush,
forget
right?
it. Yeah.
I
don't know who that would be.
So my childhood crush is Johnny Gill.
Wow.
I love Johnny. Don't clown me. So he was the best singer in New Edition. And I loved him.
Don't tell Bobby.
And I got to interview him this year for Exhale. They've been trying to get Johnny Gill on the show for 3 seasons. First season of our show, I did an open letter. Google this, guys. Erin Jackson, Exhale, Johnny Gill video, whatever. It's on YouTube. It is me.
What's going to come up
begging
first
him-
off before they Google that?
I'm telling you, it's a video of me begging Johnny Gill to come on my show. That's all.
Okay, all right.
Come on.
Those are like some hot words. You know what I'm saying?
Exhale. That's the name of our show.
Exhale, Erin Jackson, Johnny Gill.
Shut up. So yeah, I made a plea for him to come on the show.
That's
I was
what's
like,
up.
I had a Jericho, you had a Jericho. It's all the reasons like that. I think that we are bonded because I had a Jericho. You can Google that too, Erin Jackson.
So this was
Jericho.
the actual plea to get him on
This
the
is
show?
my plea.
That
This is
so
first
funny.
season, and so they brought him on this season. Very first day of shooting, first setup.
That's
I have
crazy.
to interview Johnny Gill. There was no need for him to be there. He had nothing to say about the topic. They just wanted to see me lose
That's
it.
funny.
Like they just wanted to see it. And there's pictures of me with my hand covering my face like, on set. Like, oh my God, oh
Wow.
my God. And so there's a picture of him and he kissed my cheek and it made my life.
That's
like
so
I love
funny.
Johnny Gill. My friends know like if he's on something, they call me. Like because if I find out you knew he was on something and you didn't tell me.
Oh, you like so that's a crush.
Oh,
I
Wow.
like this.
I entered a contest to go on a date with him in Word Up magazine when I was 12. My mother was like, "You're not going on a
Word
date with
Up
anybody."
magazine. That's throwback.
I mean, when I was
when you were 12.
I was how old am I? I'm telling my age. But yeah, my mom was like, you know you can't go on a date with anyone. not Johnny Gill, not no one.
He gets shot.
But yeah, man, I don't know what it is. Like I always had a crush. And it wasn't like a lustful crush. It was just like he was just my
understood.
favorite.
Yeah.
He just was my favorite, and I got to meet him, and he was lovely, and it was just perfect. Who's yours? You don't get to answer. You get to answer.
We can. I mean, but if you do the actors, yeah. My childhood crush is Nia Long. Has always been Nia Long.
She's kind of my crush too.
Yeah,
She's dope.
like that. And I'm just like, ugh, I know one day I'm gonna meet her. I know
met
one
her.
day I'm gonna
Want
meet
to
her.
see a picture? I'll show it to you later.
After, yeah, show it to me after.
I got into comedy for one reason, and that's to meet Halle Berry.
All right, next
I'm
topic.
sorry. Yeah. Hey, Michelle.
First dates.
I think they're necessary.
Well, they have to happen in order to get the second dates. That's like math.
I think they're always awkward. First dates are usually always awkward.
I don't like when first dates aren't talked about beforehand. To me,
What do you mean, like to the person,
here's the
or
thing.
like?
I've gotten in trouble because I've lost first dates because I expressed, hey, if we don't talk enough before the first date, then I'm not going to pay for the first date. And it's like, if we talk enough for me to get to know you, then all right, I can pay for this meal for us to further get to know each other.
You getting in trouble is not like an unheard of thing. Like I can totally see any situation where your mouth would have just arranged
because
something.
I don't try to lie. I don't try to hold nothing. I want everything up front and clear.
Mm-hmm.
So if I meet
We're talk enough. What is that?
if I meet a girl today and we exchange like 10 text messages and all the messages are, hey, when are you free? And I'm free. Oh, what do you do? And blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm free Tuesday. Let's catch up. At that point, we haven't talked enough for me to want to pay for Tuesday. So when we say Tuesday, let's catch up, then I say, hey, all right, either we can go somewhere where neither one of us have to spend money, or if we go somewhere and you want to actually.
This is is this in theory or this is a thing you've said to women?
This is absolutely what I've said.
So it's like a conversation building fund? Like the more you talk, the more money you build for your date kind of thing. I can see that like the little thermostat of like conversation is just like, you almost there, girl. You about to get a free meal.
Oh, I like that. I might want to put that into a.
Take it.
I like the conversation building fund. That's not bad.
I do a whole bit about how I can't stand people try to conduct the beginning of a relationship on text message anyway. I hate that. Like, call me. It's impersonal. We're not going to text back and forth. But
That's
beyond
your
that,
preference, though.
Beyond that, no. But if I just met you, like we're going to go somewhere.
So
and
you'd
talk,
rather talk
like,
on the
I
phone?
would need to talk to you. I don't.
Okay.
I can't. I don't know your tone. I don't know who you are. Like I don't know. I can't. I will project things onto your text message that either you do. No,
Right.
I need to know
feel
you
you.
before I do that. But beyond that, like. I mean, first dates in general. If somebody asks me on a date, I would assume that they're taking me out on a date.
And you assume that they're going to pay, you mean?
I would assume that. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I see what
That's
you're saying.
That's how That's how I think dates work. Fair or not. Fair or not.
So
you expected them to pay? Like, are you bringing money at all?
Of
just
course
in case?
I'm
Okay,
bringing
all
money.
right, just making
I've
sure.
had to pay on several
Oh, yeah,
dates.
yeah.
and those are probably were first and last dates because it came as a surprise. Me, I try not to surprise, so I'm more upfront with it. And it's not that I asked you out on a date. It's more I want us to meet so that we can talk, so I can look at you in your eyes when you talk to me. Just because it's better than talking on the phone or texting. Look me in my face when I'm talking to you. So if we can meet somewhere where we don't have to spend money, let's do that. Since I don't know you like that, because for me it's like, if I'm coming out here and I'm gambling with this $100 that I'm going to spend, and what if I don't like anything you have to say? Then give me my money back. Why am I the only one investing?
That's a lot of
I
money,
don't
though,
like to be the only one investing in this. Or let's go to McDonald's and I'll spend $10. But then I'm a cheapskate. I can spend whatever I need to spend, but only if we have enough conversation beforehand that makes you want to invest this kind of money. To me, that's how I see it. So
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at
if
that.
I ask you on a date, I will pay. Absolutely. If I say, hey, let me take you out somewhere, oh, but you got to pay, that's stupid.
But
So I
how
don't-
much you pay
so
depends
I
on
don't do that.
pre-talk.
It's hey, let's meet up. Let's meet at a place where it's not going to cost either one of us any money. Or if you're going to meet somewhere where you want to eat and drink, you pay for yourself and I'll pay for myself. And if none of that is good, then we don't have to talk again.
That's fair. I got this one tip for like how to avoid being nervous on first dates. If you're a female, act like you're the interviewer, and if you're the male, act like you're the interviewer.
So why do you have to say if you're a female or if you're a female?
Because
Why
if,
did you
if
just
you're
say
a male
hey?
listening,
So why did you say if you're on a first date, act like you're the interviewer?
because I didn't want to say that.
If you act like you're the interviewer,
Go with that mindset. And I think if you're a female, I think you should control the date.
what if you've never been an
Like
interviewer?
you tell him where you want to go. I think.
What if you?
I don't like conversations where I feel like someone's interviewing me. I feel like that happens a lot. Not that I date very much at all.
But I think you'll feel more. If you feel in control, then your nerves will be a little bit better. That's how I think.
No, I'm just saying, like, when especially, like, I don't ever tell people, I try not to tell people that I meet initially what I do for a living, because everything is an
There's gonna be
interview.
questions about
You know what I mean? I hate that feeling. Like, I just get to, but because I don't like to I like to have conversations, not interrogations. Like, I don't like that. So I don't know. I probably wouldn't do that because I know I don't like that. I probably wouldn't.
I would figure everybody would know you.
I feel like
does it
I would feel
like
everybody would know
everybody
you.
would
Like
know
if
you.
they would see, but you know what? She looks very familiar. And then
Who
when
would know me? Nobody knows me.
are you serious? If you was going out on a date, if you was going on a date with somebody, the first thing they're gonna do is look you up on Facebook. When they go to Facebook, that's where I seen it from. That girl was on TV.
I know I
that
wouldn't
girl
even have
had
to look you up
da-da-da-da-da.
on Facebook. If I seen you and we were going on a date, I'd be like, yeah, I know I'm going on a date with Erin Jackson. And everybody I know would
That's
know.
ridiculous. Nobody. Yeah, I mean, to me, I've done the online thing, and for me, like, that's my big thing. Like, I'm not telling you what I do because you're gonna Google me, and I'm not gonna try to find out who you are. I'm just gonna let you tell me who you are. And
Okay.
I don't want you to know who I am
Over
So
the
I'm
phone,
I'm
not via text
writer.
message.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't. I think it's so impersonal. I'm old school in that way. I mean, people don't ask people out. People don't ask me out on dates, but people don't ask a lot of my friends. Nobody asks people out on dates anymore. It's not a thing. It's like
I ask people out
it's
on
more
dates.
in that. But I mean, it's not as common as it used to. It's very like I talk to my friends and I'm like, when's the last time you went on a date? I can't remember.
Well, you're busy, Erin.
No. I'm talking about people that are not.
Oh,
they
not
don't
busy?
do it. No, not busy. Not in this industry. I was gonna say, who have regular jobs and who I just feel like that's not what it's not dating anymore. There's no. It's very much transactional, which I don't care for.
You know what? I dig text just because I'm real big on spelling, and it helps me. Like you can talk all you want, but when I hate your and your. Like that's one of my biggest pet peeves.
I have a whole bit about that.
Yeah.
I'm a grammar snob.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows homonyms and homophones, they're grammar snobs.
But I also think that when you're meeting somebody, you don't know anything about them. I need to get your. I need to know that you can carry on a conversation. I don't want to text. I want to talk to you like a human.
Do you have a bad first date experience that you can share, that you can recall?
Oh yeah.
Well, just one.
I hope there is one that I don't want you to tell on the podcast, but there's one that you talk about during your show that is hilarious. So listeners, if you definitely want to hear like one of the funniest first date stories you were ever going to hear, you need to catch Erin Jackson
I
live.
can't say that on your podcast.
No,
I just wanna
don't
spoil
do it
it.
on the podcast.
Oh, why? Is it not clean enough?
If she
No, it's funny, but I mean, it's just like
If she wants to
Oh,
spoil it,
all right,
let
no,
her.
that's fine.
Let
It's
her.
not spoiler,
I mean,
it's a
wait, if
story.
you want, but I mean,
All right.
I like it, but you know.
Don't Google me. I told you on Last Comic Standing. It's on my website.
All right, well, spell it.
ErinJackson.net.
I can tell you another. I mean, I went on another date. I haven't been on that many dates. I went out on a date with a guy who he didn't pay for anything. He picked me up to tell me. See, you can be like, why should he pay?
That's a good start.
He
No, I'm
picked
not
me
saying
up.
that.
He picked me up because he wanted to. This guy, man, we had talked and on the phone a bunch. He was a cousin of a friend of mine, and he wanted to date me, and so he got a new car. He's like, I want to show you my new car, this new fancy car. And we went out to eat. You know, we went out to the movies first.
It was a Ford Escort.
No, I don't remember what it was.
It's
but,
a new fancy car.
it's a new fancy car. Well, it was new, and then he took me to the movies. And then we got to the movies, and then he was just like one for whatever it was. I just remember standing behind him like, "Oh, you're not buying my movie ticket, okay?" So then I bought my movie ticket because I was there and I didn't have a way home. And then when we got there, I put my stuff in between us.
Oh man,
Yeah, I didn't sit next to him. And then
her big purse.
Well, he just brought a car, Aaron.
her book.
Well, I know.
her book
He
bag size
couldn't
for
afford
a
a
movie
date.
ticket.
He couldn't afford a date. He couldn't afford to come take me out. So I just remember that being very that's just a big thing for me. You invite me out on a date. I expect that you. So that happened. So then I remember he didn't. This is not going to be as good as the one that Corey doesn't want me to tell.
Yeah.
But then we went out to dinner. He didn't pay for that, and then we got back to my house. He dropped me back at my house, and we had at our house, my house, my parents' house growing up, our house growing up, there was shrubs all in the front of the house, so they cover the front door.
Okay.
So he tried to drop me off at the bottom. This is when I was younger. So this is when I was in college.
Sure.
So he tried to drop me off at the bottom of the driveway, and my daddy was waiting for
So
me
he
to
couldn't
come
see you
home.
go to the door.
Couldn't see me go. My father was not having that.
Yeah,
My father comes running out the house, and he was like, "You will walk
Walk
my
her
daughter.
up.
You
Yeah,
will
that's
walk
what's
my
up.
daughter to
Yeah.
the door." And I just remember I was like, "Dad, don't even worry about it. Like I don't even need him to walk me to the door. It's fine." He was like, "No." He will walk me to the door.
Oh,
And so
geez.
he had to, after that horrible day, then confront my dad and he walked me to the door. My dad was already at the door.
Yeah, that's a
Like
good
my
pop.
dad was
Yeah.
beyond
No, I
the
like that.
shrubs,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he made him walk me up the driveway.
This was up.
Whatever, and it wasn't what's up.
You know
I
what?
just was like, he could just drive away right now. It's fine.
But
I just not a good day.
probably turned him into a good gentleman now, just because of your dad
Yeah.
doing something like that. So I hope the next girl.
Well, he probably dropped the next girl off at the beginning of the block. You walk to your
at the
house just
corner.
in case your pops is outside.
Her dad be at the 7-Eleven. You will walk her all the way.
Yeah, that was a bad day. And then
Well, I don't like movies on first dates anyway, because you can't talk.
Yeah, I'm not a
I
fan.
I was
definitely
fine with that.
discouraged. Since you was fine.
Well, she said she
with
put
that.
the stuff in between them anyway, so
Right,
it was
right.
like
I was mad.
She would
I
enjoy
was
the movie.
mad.
Y'all didn't do popcorn.
I
I
could've
wasn't
had
doing.
that.
I remember I was doing my mother's hair, and he called me. He was like, "Do you want to go out tonight?" It was like he's like, "Listen, I want to take you out. You're home. You got home for the
I
summer,
got a new car.
right?" He's like, "You just got home for the summer." He was like, "I want to take you out. Let's go out." And so I stopped doing what I was doing to go on this date. And I remember my cousin was in labor that night, and I
And
was
you
supposed
left
to
your
be-
mother's hair undone. You
And
left your
what?
mother's hair undone.
She was like, "You going on the date?" Oh,
She didn't see her
but my
second cousin.
I was like, my cousin was in labor, and I was like, I could have been there.
That's crazy.
And I went on this date.
Now I can understand your father's frustration. You gonna walk up to the door?
Yeah, he was just not
I had to look at my wife's hair undone.
looking like Martin when he went to the monastery, half done, half not.
Exactly.
No, but so that was a bad.
Y'all didn't do popcorn and soda.
I'm sure I got something for myself.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just weird.
That sucks.
And I don't even. I mean, I'm also not an expensive date. I'm not asking. I didn't ask you to take me to. I didn't ask you to take me anywhere.
Right.
Is the point. But yeah. So it just wasn't a good. Then we never went out again.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise. That doesn't shock me at all. And then I agree with that. I'm good.
That's the podcast, and I really do appreciate you coming out, Erin, and being a part of the podcast. Such the last minute. Thank you.
Of course.
I'm a fan of your work. I'm also a fan of you in general. If you wasn't doing comedy, I think we would still be friends.
I thought you were about to say you take her on the first date.
You called me angry last night. Remember you called me angry?
I called you angry.
Oh man,
You said I was angry.
last night.
I didn't say
Was that
that.
was that
I
the
didn't
first
say you
date?
angry.
What am I missing?
No, we were at the club.
I said you sound angry.
No, you said I was an angry person. Do you
No,
think I'm
no,
angry,
no,
Giant?
no. You put words in my
I
mouth.
do not
No,
think
you
you're
said those were the
angry.
exact words you said. But I'm glad we're friends.
Okay.
Remember when you said I was going to come in here and be like, Corey, we haven't spoken.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was that
yeah.
moment right there.
Okay,
That's
all
what
right.
that was.
I got you.
Oh, okay. I don't think you're angry at him. I'm hoping we can become friends. Okay, maybe not. She just made this
Thanks
angry
for
face.
having me, guys. I was kidding. Thanks for having me
No,
on your
yeah.
podcast. This was fun.
No, but I do appreciate your comedy and appreciate you as a person. You're a very good person. That's one thing that I do like about you, not just your comedy. I do like, the way you present yourself. Anyway.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that y'all are catching this podcast late because while she's here, I know a lot of our listeners are here in Richmond, Virginia, where we record, and by the time you hear this, she will no longer be in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
So you would have missed a fantastic show. I had the pleasure of watching her headline the other day, featuring the rest of this week. I'm definitely got to come back just to see how she condenses it. It's like how do you put an hour into 25, 30 minutes, and that as a comedian, that's
Talking
just going to
really
help
fast.
me. Just try to be better at crafting. I definitely appreciate you for coming through the show. I'm definitely a fan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. We thank our new listeners, and thank you for listening off the pad.
You guys knows how. You guys knows. I'm talking about
We be
English.
swapping.
Grammar.
The subject and verb agreement is like way off.
we be doing.
That was my Italian accent. Use, guys. Use. Y'all know how we do. Your topics go on the pad.
And we talk about them off the pad.
Y'all have a good day, afternoon, evening, night.
Boom.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Off the Pad podcast with Joye Toller and Corey Marshall. Be sure to find us online at offthepad.podbean.com. Follow us on Twitter at offthepad. You can also be a part of our Facebook page. Once again, thank you for listening to Off the Pad podcast. And remember, if you go on a date with Erin, bring her a flower, as in a rose, not flour as in food powder. If you go on a date with Joye, bring your own money. And if you go on a date with Corey, you are in control, so instruct him on what you want to do.